Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Edupreneur Diaries, where we talk about planning, productivity, and personal finance. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about a topic that I've wanted to make a video about for quite some time, but I was a little reluctant because the backstory is a little personal, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to speak on it. But I'm going to speak on it today, and I'm going to keep it short and sweet as far as the backstory and get into the meat of this video. All right, so if you guys don't know, back in 2018, I was in debt to the tune of $30,000. And this was just credit card debt. I had 13 credit cards, you all. 13. I also had car debt. I was close to paying off my car. But in this video, I'm strictly talking about credit card debt. So I knew I needed to find a way to where, number one, I only had one payment because making 13 payments was just too much for me. So I needed one payment. I didn't really care about the interest rate of that payment at that time. I just wanted to get it down to one payment. So I needed a way to consolidate my credit card balances so that I can get one payment. So I had already done research and I found Lending Club. And so I already kind of knew what I wanted to do, but I just didn't do it until July 1st, 2018, when my mom suddenly passed away. She was only 61 years old, and something in me just snapped. And I said, okay, I got to get out of debt. I have to get out of debt, not only for me, but for my son. So I immediately, the same day that she passed, you all, I went online, I went to Lending Club, and I got started. So I want to take you through the 5 steps that I went through in order to complete my application for Lending Club and to pay off this debt. First, I will let you guys take a look at the comparisons between Lending Club and some of the other providers here. For me, I ended up getting $30,000 for my personal loan, and it shows you that your amount can be approved from $1,000 to $40,000, and it shows you the interest rate and the average APR and the terms. How long do you have to pay off this debt? So I just wanted to show you guys that before we started. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just let you guys see right up front that I did take out a personal loan for $30,000. It was paid off, and I'm even going to show you the loan details. So let's check those loan details out. You can see that my monthly payments were $1,056.53, which I will talk to you about in just a moment. You can also see the loan terms. So 3 years was my term, or 36 months. You can see the interest rate and the APR. You can also see that I started this application, you guys, on June the 29th of 2018. Now, that's when I was thinking about what I wanted to do, but I didn't actually complete the application until July the 1st, when something in me said, yes, you're going to do this. So let's go ahead and talk about the 5 steps that I took. Now, if this is something you are considering, you can do your research and see what other websites are out there for you to consolidate your credit cards with. The website that I'm using is lendingclub.com. And the first thing that I did was I had to decide my loan amount. How much money do I need in order to get out of credit card debt? And the only way I could decide that is by getting all of my credit cards together, either calling or going online and writing down my balances. So I had to go and write down my balances for all 13 credit cards, and I had to add them up to get the total loan amount that I needed. Once I added up all 13 credit card balances, then of course that came out to be $30,000, and so that is what I applied for through Lending Club. Now, I did not include my car loan in this. At the time, I think my car loan was I had $9,000 left. I didn't include it because I felt like I wanted to keep that separate, and I could do that on my own once I paid off this credit card debt. The second thing that I had to determine was how much can I afford to pay monthly on this lending club debt. Okay, so in order to determine that, I had to sit down and see how much I was paying out each month with the 13 credit cards total, with the monthly payments, the minimum monthly payments. So that's something I had no clue about. I did not know how much money I was paying out with monthly payments until I sat down and did this, and I was astonished. I could not believe it. So I was paying out $1,000 every single month between all 13 credit cards. And I was like, whoa, if I can have this $1,000 every month in my pocket or going into savings, that would be amazing. So that was an eye-opener alone. So that's the second thing I had to come up with. And $1,000 was that amount. So I needed to know, as I was doing the application, how much could I afford every month to pay on this loan payment. Now let's move on to the third thing that I had to do. The third thing that I had to do was to actually sit down, create an account with Lending Club, and fill out the application. Now, I am new to content creation, so this video is not sponsored, but I will say the application process for Lending Club was super easy. It was super easy. And I remember thinking, I should have done this a long time ago. But it's super easy, you guys, and I found a referral code. I'm going to put this referral link in the description below for anyone who may want to do the same thing that I did. You don't have to, but hey, if you do, use my link. It's going to benefit me. It's going to benefit you. That'll be great. All right, so that's the third thing you need to do. You need to sit down and just do it. Just fill out the application. Don't think about it anymore. Don't do what I did and wait till some drastic happens in your life to decide that you need to do something different. Just go ahead and sit down and complete the application. Now, the fourth thing that you want to do is you want to decide on a payoff length of time. So, in other words, your loan term. Remember, I told you I chose 3 years or 36 months. Now they give you the option of 3, 4, or 5 years, if I can remember correctly. And so you want to choose the length of time that you need. Now, when you're going through the application, when you click on the length of time, it'll show you what your monthly payments will be. And so I chose it based on my monthly payment amount. Okay, I didn't want it to be over $1,000. It needs to stay in that amount. It needs to stay around that amount because that is how much I was already spending per month. So if I was to do 4 years or 5 years, of course my monthly payments would be higher. So I stayed at 3 years because it was close to my amount that I could afford each month. And remember, I told you guys that my payment ended up being $1,056.53 per month, okay, for 3 years. All right, so that is the fourth step. Decide on your loan term. And of course, you need to really base that on how much you can afford per month. And it will show you that in the application. So like I said, this application process was great. Okay, so the last one, number 5, the fifth thing that I did to pay off this personal loan with Lending Club, and I found this part to be amazing. So they give you 2 options, or at least in 2018, they gave you 2 options. Hopefully it's still the same. But you could either get that money, that $30,000 or whatever you apply for, you can get it directly deposited into your bank account, and then you can go in and pay those 13 credit cards or whatever you have. Or you can let Lending Club pay off the debt for you so that you never see any of the money and you never have to really deal with anything. Now, I chose to let Lending Club do it because I did not trust myself to get that money and spend it on my credit card debt. I knew right away I was not going to get that deposit into my bank account. So I let them do it. Now, if you let them do it, they will simply need a list of all the credit card companies and your account numbers. So when you get that information to them, that's really all you have to do. They're going to take care of the rest. And if I remember correctly, I started seeing accounts being paid off, within a few days. Now it took, I would say, maybe 2 weeks to get all 13 accounts paid off, but I was logging into my accounts with these different credit card companies and I was seeing them getting paid off. And I went ahead and I closed those credit cards and I went ahead and cut them up. Yes, you know, of course, credit card gurus are going to say, don't close your credit cards, but I just had way too many credit cards and I was willing to take the hit on my credit score. But actually my credit score improved because I consolidated all of my credit card debt into this personal loan. But anyway, that's another video for another time. But I went ahead and closed those credit cards, and you know, I no longer have 13 credit cards. I only have 4 now, and they are all used correctly. And again, that's another video for another time. So those are the 5 things that I did to pay off $30,000 in credit card debt. Now I want to talk to you guys about what paying off the debt allowed me to do differently in my life. Now, just like the website says, this personal loan through Lending Club allowed me to simplify my finances and take control of my debt. Yes. So now that I had this in control, I started taking my extra income, because I did have a part-time job, and I started putting that money toward this Lending Club debt so that I can pay off my loan faster. And I did pay it off in 2 years. August 4th, 2020 is when I paid it off. So that was 25 months. And I was so happy when I paid it off, you guys, because it also allowed me to have extra money. So that $1,000 that I was paying off, or that I was using to pay off my Lending Club debt, I now had that freed up to do whatever I wanted to do with it. Okay. Next, it allowed me to create a budget. So this is where I started following the Budget Mom, and I started using her method, budget by paycheck. And I just really got into budgeting, and I'm still into budgeting to this day. So it allowed me to do that. It also allowed me to pay off my car. Okay, so now I was able to put some extra money toward my car from my part-time income, and also from the money that I now have freed up. Another thing, it allowed me to start an emergency fund. Okay, this is something that I did not have before. So I started an emergency fund. I was able to start sinking funds. So now I'm saving for those things that are going to occur once a year or every 6 months. This is something I had never done before. And then the last thing is, it allowed me to build a cushion in my checking account. So if you've been following me, I've talked about some of these things before in previous videos, but these are all the things that paying off debt allowed me to do. And it just really felt good once I got rid of this debt. So I encourage you all, if you're watching this video and you are in credit card debt, go ahead and make a decision on what you want to do. Do whatever is best for you, and then get rid of the debt, because it is going to just be a load off your shoulders once you do it. Now, if you've made it to the end of this video and you are loving my content, please support the channel, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time Edupreneur Diaries posts a new video. Thanks for watching. If you need a way to keep track of your student loan debt payoff amount, check out my Etsy shop linked in the description below.